डबल बॉन्ड हो हो गया ClO4 ठीक है नेक्स्ट क्या बोलो सेंट्रल एटम और स्टेट नंबर निकालो 8 आ जाएगा तो Cl डबल बॉन्ड O माइनस क्लोरीन पे कितने इलेक्ट्रॉन हो गए 1 2 3 4 5 मतलब एक लोन पेयर है अभी भाई जाते क्योंकि टोटल क्लोरीन पे इलेक्ट्रॉन होते हैं 7 कैसे निकालोगे स्टेट नंबर निकालो n = 4 4 का मतलब 3 ऑक्सीजन 3 बॉन्ड और एक लोन पेयर तो ये आ गया HClO3 माइनस तो इसका स्ट्रक्चर क्या हो जाएगा Cl डबल बॉन्ड O एक तो आ जाएगा लोन पेयर और एक आ जाएगा OH HClO4 ठीक है Cl डबल बॉन्ड O कितना है Cl सिंगल बॉन्ड O कितना है लोन पेयर कितना है
अनम्यूट है मम्मी बेड पर बैठेंगे, जल्दी पहुंच पाए।
आयुष कुमार बंद कर ले माइक। आयुष कुमार
Good morning. Voice is clear? Please have a seat.
मॉर्निंग सर।
Good morning, sir.
Yes? Yeah, sure.
Morning, sir.
Good morning.
रोहन चौधरी
अरे बोलने के गोविंद का 8 बजे फोन साथ जोड़ने को मिलता उठी दूध पी
So to
रहे
continue the
हो।
chapter, Law Spring.
घड़ी में भी नहीं खड़ा था टाइम।
Raman, mute yourself.
रमन चौधरी
Okay, who is Sahib? Sahib is a rag picker. Where does Sahib and his family now live? Konsipuri, Raspuri, Simapuri. They live in Simapuri. Great. From where have Sahib's family migrated from?
बांग्लादेश ढाका
Dhaka. Which year?
1971.
2021.
1971.
1971. They came and settled in the place called as Simapuri. What is the full name of Sahib?
साहिब
Sahib
Sahib Alam.
Alam. Okay. Who is Mukesh?
Bangalore.
Bengal maker.
Bengal maker.
Bengal maker
He
का
is
वो
a
बेटा
Bengal
था सर।
maker. Where does Mukesh and his family live?
फिरोजाबाद।
Live in Firozabad. Who is there in the family of Mukesh?
सर पापा मम्मी और भाई और
Father, mother, and bhabhi.
सिस्टर इन लॉ के पहले उसके फादर और ब्रदर तो बोलो, सीधे सिस्टर इन लॉ। हाँ, भाभी पे जल्दी आ गए। हाँ, मुकेश इज ग्रैंडमदर, मुकेश इज फादर, मुकेश इज एल्डर ब्रदर, सिस्टर इन लॉ, एंड व्हाट यू नो अबाउट हिज ग्रैंडफादर? Mukesh's grandfather had
Blind at
Become
the
blind.
an eye operation.
while
क्या हुआ था? He had
While
become
working in
blind,
blind.
making
Bengal
bangles.
factory.
So this is something about
Mhm.
the family of Mukesh. What does Mukesh want to do?
drive a
Motor
car
He wants to
mechanic.
drive a car. He wants to become a motor
Motor mechanic.
mechanic. Where does Sahib work later on?
tea stall.
Tea stall
At a
for
tea stall.
800
Yes.
per month with milk.
Great. I'm getting the answers from online students also. Good. How much money did Sahib earn at the tea stall?
800
800
rupees along with
rupees.
all time milk.
Do you think Sahib was happy working at the tea stall?
No, sir.
I don't think that Sahib is happy working at the tea stall. So any type of questions you can expect in your exams in the form of MCQs. This is the reason I am discussing. What is the reason of Sahib and Mukesh facing such problems? Is it poverty? Is it lack of education? What?
दोनों lack of education
So
You say
education.
both. Education है ही नहीं, but main thing is lack of poverty. Because the poverty, they are living such condition, pitiable life. So let's continue with the chapter. The second part, half we have finished. We are on page number 19, the second paragraph. I don't think it's necessary to recap again. All of you are present physically and mentally. Great. Chalo.
Yes, sir.
The cry of not having money to do anything except carry on the business of making bangles, not even enough to eat, rings in every home. So, एक वक्त पेट भर खाना नहीं मिलता. This voice or this sound echoes or comes out from each and every house engaged in making bangles in Firozabad. The young man echoed the lament of the elders. So the young man repeat about their sufferings what the elders have repeated. Little has moved with time, it seems, in Firozabad. Years of mind-numbing toil have killed all the initiative and the ability to dream. They worked so hard right from their early childhood. that now
अब बोलना
the
बेटा
mind
कुछ
has
काम
stopped
को।
working. Numb is
चली जा,
सुन
खुद की
पड़ जाना.
फोटोकॉपी
The
करवा
mind
ले,
has
खुद का
become
सामान उठाने।
senseless, cannot think. They cannot think, and they have even lost all the ability to dream, and they have accepted the reality. What
Yes,
reality?
Raja.
सर
क्या
म्यूट
मान
कर
लिया
दो
उन्होंने?
सब।
जिंदगी से हार मान के क्या सोच लिया? जीना यहाँ, मरना यहाँ, इसके सिवा जाना का. They have accepted this reality.
सर म्यूट कर दो सबको।
6 साल।
Okay, done. Just give me a minute.
नहीं है, कुछ नहीं है। वो स्मॉल दीदी का गंगा है, उससे मत करना कुछ। आए था, मत करना।
Please no unnecessary discussions. Any unnecessary sound, the student will be removed from the group. Please mute yourself. Okay, so it will be done from the next time. Okay, thank you for the suggestion. फिर बोलना मत गर्मी लग रही है अब, तो उस साइड आ जाओ ना, जो बंद है वहां पर, जहाँ नहीं है एसी वहां जाओ. सबको लग रही है, बहुत बढ़िया. क्या जवान बच्चे हो यार, इतनी सर्दी लग रही है. Why not organize yourself into a cooperative? You all have organized into a cooperative, है ना? Unite करके एक जन बोलने गए बाहर एसी बंद करने के लिए. Why not organize yourself into a cooperative? I ask a group of young men who have fallen into the vicious circle. Vicious is a cruel circle, a dangerous circle of middlemen who trap their fathers and the forefathers. So youngsters tell, we are not allowed to unite. And our fathers and forefathers became a victim of the moneylenders and the middlemen. Even if we get organized, we are the ones who will be hauled up by the police. Hauled is pulled out, जबरदस्ती, dragged out. हमको कहा जाता कि अगर हमने एक होने की कोशिश की, हमको घरों से खींच कर निकाल दिया जाएगा. Beaten and dragged to jail for doing something illegal. They say. And what is the thing? What is illegal thing they are doing? What is the illegal thing these Bengal makers are doing? Come on, wake up. कल ही बताया था. Children like Mukesh are engaged into making Bengal. ये illegal काम कर रहे हैं. Children below 14 years are enforced into labor and dragged to jail for doing something illegal, they say. There is no leader among them. No one who could help them see differently. So there is no one who could guide them. उनको रास्ता बताने वाला भी कोई नहीं है. Their fathers are as tired as they are. So they are also as tired with life as their fathers and the forefathers. They talk endlessly in a spiral. Spiral is a chain, a cycle. They talk endlessly in a spiral that moves from poverty to apathy. Apathy is opposite of sympathy. Apathy is निर्दयता. वे गरीबी के शिकार हैं, वे निर्दयता के शिकार हैं. To greed and to injustice. So this is the cycle they are, this is the chain they are bound with. ये इस शिकंजे में फंसे हैं. कौन से? गरीबी के, निर्दयता के, लोगों के लालच के और अन्याय के. Listening to them, I see two distinct worlds. You can just underline this, two distinct worlds. So the author feels there are two worlds in Firozabad. One of the family caught in a web of poverty, burdened by the stigma of the caste in which they are born. Stigma is a mark of disgrace, kalank. पहली दुनिया तो ये एक गरीब चूड़ी वाले बनाने वालों की है, जो अपने आप को कलंकित मानते हैं इस खानदान में पैदा होने के लिए. What is the other world? The other world is which controls them. The other, a vicious circle of the sahukars, the middlemen, the policemen, the keepers of the law, कानून के रखवाले, the bureaucrats. Bureaucrats is something ruled by the higher officers, official, that is bureaucracy, and the politicians. So this is the other world. Together, they've imposed the baggage on the child that he cannot put down. And the people of the world have put up so much burden, इतना बोझ डाल दिया है मुकेश जैसे बंदों पे कि जब तक वो समझ पाते हैं वो भी जिंदगी से हार मान लेते हैं. Before he is aware, he accepts it as naturally as his father. To do anything else would mean to dare, and daring is not part of his growing up. Dare is to challenge, विरोध करना. And these Bengal makers, children are told, you can do nothing else but make bangles. Because इतने कर्जे में डूबे हुए हैं, वो तो हम और कुछ नहीं कर सकते, ये काम करना है हमको. They cannot do anything else. But when I sense a flash of it in Mukesh, I am cheered. But when the author sees some brightness in the eyes of Mukesh, because he wanted to come out from this dark world into his own bright world, so the author was delighted. I want to be a motor mechanic, he repeats. He will go to the garage and learn. So he has just seen a dream of driving a car, and he also has a vision. उसने वो भी सोच कर रखा है कि अपने सपने साकार करने के लिए वो क्या स्टेप लेगा. And what will he do? He'll go to the garage and learn. But the garage is a long way from his home. I will walk, he insists. बोलता गैरेज दूर है तो क्या हुआ, मैं जाऊंगा पैदल, मैं चलूंगा गाड़ी सिखाना चलाना, और एक दिन में गाड़ी चला के मोटर मैकेनिक I will become. Do you also dream of flying a plane? This is what the author asked him. He is suddenly silent. No, he says, staring at the ground. He just replies no. In his small murmur, there is an embarrassment that has not yet turned into regret. Embarrassment is sharmindgi. So Mukesh says, no, I don't want to fly a plane. उसको अपने जवाब देने के लिए शर्मिंदगी महसूस होती है, but he has no regret. उसको कोई पछतावा नहीं है अपने इस डिसीजन का of not flying an airplane. The reason, he is content to dream of cars that he sees hurtling down the streets of his town. Hurtling is speeding, moving. He is just tempted by the cars which he has seen moving on the streets of Firozabad. Few airplanes fly over Firozabad. Hardly कोई aeroplane ऊपर उसने उड़ते हुए देखे. So the planes have never tempted him. He was only tempted by the cars which he sees moving on the streets of Firozabad. Or in other words, he has just seen a realistic dream, a dream which is within his reach, and he has no unrealistic or lofty dreams of flying an airplane. Or in simple words, जमीन का आदमी है, जमीन पे रहना चाहता है, बिना मतलब के हवाई सपने वो नहीं देखता है. Hence, the author is very delighted when she meets Mukesh, because Mukesh, who is a victim of child labor, wants to become his own master. In contrast to Saheb, Saheb was his own master earlier, but he became a victim of child labor. So this is about this particular very, very important chapter, Lost Spring, Stories of Stolen Childhood. And I have discussed earlier, maybe why this heading. Spring is the best season. Yes, all the flowers bloom, सब खिलते हैं. Childhood is the best phase of human life. The childhood is like spring of life. The childhood of these children was stolen from them. Hence the topic, Lost Spring. This is the reason. So go through this chapter. And again, couple of students were asking me, in 1 or 2 days, the study material will be uploaded on the site that is on Resource. Those are online, I think they have the module, but offline students have the module. The online students, the things will be done very soon. And even the DPPs of English are ready. लग गई क्या? Have you received any DPP on Rezo sir or in the print form? DPP 1 of English has been put up? Not English. Okay. It will be done by today maybe. Huh? So we can solve that, and then later on in the next class or next week we can discuss the DPPs. If you have any doubts, it can be resolved. Okay. Yes, a query from one of the student on page number 21, thinking about language. The first part, literary devices. Anyway, जब हम poem करेंगे, we'll go on to it. But I just like to explain. There are three literary devices given: hyperbole, metaphor, and simile. Yes. Simile is when two things are compared with the word like or as. That is simile. Metaphor is a direct comparison. For example, I'll just say he fought like a lion in the battlefield. So I am comparing the qualities of a soldier to that of a lion with the word, वो लड़ाई के मैदान में शेर के जैसे लड़ा. So this is an example of simile. Suppose I change this sentence. He was a lion in the battlefield. The meaning of the statements is nearly the same, but the formation or the structure of the sentence changes. यहाँ पे वो शेर के जैसे लड़ा, यहाँ पे I'm terming that soldier as a lion. He was a lion in the battlefield. वो लड़ाई के मैदान का शेर था. That is शेर के जैसे लड़ा. So this becomes metaphor and this is simile. अबे बंदर जैसे मत उछल. आपको नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, एग्जाम्पल समझा रहा हूँ. Don't worry. बंदर जैसे मत उछल. Simile. अबे बंदर. समझ गए? Metaphor. Coming on to the first one, hyperbole. When the things are exaggerated, जब किसी चीज को ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंस है, ज्यादा exaggerate करके कोई example देते हैं, then we term it as an hyperbole. And very simple example, nice example is given over here. Garbage to them is gold. Something it is exaggerated, something very, very precious. And how much precious? As precious as gold. So this is an example of hyperbole. Yeah. Okay, it was doubt of the student. Yes, I think one student has responded. DPP 1 is there on Rezo sir. है ना, आ गई आप देख सकते हो. So in the next class when we meet, you have full weeks time for English. Hardly to I have given only 25 MCQs. Solve them, and if you have any doubts, we can clear those things in the upcoming classes. Okay, everyone. So those who are not aware, please go to the DPP. Some subjective questions, if you want, you can practice. And it was really appreciating that at least 3 students, they extract बेटा हम क्लास के अंदर कौन सा extract दिया? हाँ 21 पेज पे. Read the following phrases and say, can you identify the literary devices? ये सब क्वेश्चन आपको आएंगे नहीं इस टाइप के. We'll discuss the things which are there. है ना? Don't worry. I'll do each and everything with you. And mostly extra this literary devices you'll get where poems are concerned. There we'll do the each and every line ka literary device or poetic device. I'll tell everyone. You know. Yes. So those who want, yeah. Around 3 students send me the solution of the subjective questions also yesterday. So कुछ बच्चे हैं, इनमें से कोई है क्या जिसने भेजा था मुझे? इस बैच में से कोई नहीं है, तो मे बी इवनिंग बैच स्टूडेंट्स माइट बी देयर, आई डोंट नो. We can take down a few questions for practice, which will help you out maybe in memorizing the chapter. Okay? Take down a few questions. First question. Write the character sketch of Sahib. Wherever the question related to character sketch is concerned, character sketch does not mean how he looks, how he behaves, or how he talks. He is tall, dark, and handsome. Not that. You have to write everything about that particular person. For example, yesterday I gave you write the character sketch of Friends. Tom Friends was a student staying in Alsace and Lorraine. He thought his books to be burden. He thought the teacher to be cranky. He disliked grammar and history, and he was fond of outdoor activities like what? Searching the eggs of the bird and sliding on the star. This is the way you have to attempt the answers. Write the character sketch of Sahib. Second, what is the meaning of garbage? What is the meaning of garbage? For the rag pickers of Simapuri. You can attempt the answers. You can go to the module also for the answers. And then if you want, if you have time, you can send it to me and I'll check and respond to you if any mistakes. What is the meaning of garbage for the rag because of Simapuri? For the elders, it is a means of survival, their daily bread, a roof over their head. But for children like Sahib, it is a gift wrapped in wonder. They don't know what gift will be there in that packet of garbage. Yeah. Question number 3. What explanations did the author get? What explanations did the author get? Regarding not wearing footwears? And the last one from this particular first part, is Sahib happy working at the tea stall? Is Sahib happy working at the tea stall? Suppose if you say why, yes, then why, or if you say no, then why not? Yes, Arun, the DPPs will be discussed at length in the next week. Okay, I'll discuss the answers, each and every answer along with the explanations. Don't worry. So these are a few questions. Coming on to the questions from the second part, that is Mukesh. Yes, all of you have taken it down? Write the character sketch of Mukesh. Write the character sketch of Mukesh. Question number 5. Question number 6. describe the condition of the Bengal makers. Of Firozabad. Question number 7. I'll make it the last one maybe. What are the two distinct worlds? What are the two distinct worlds in Firozabad? What are the two distinct worlds in Firozabad? One more question you can work out is describe the family of Mukesh. Yes. You can take down one more question. Describe the family of Mukesh. So these are some additional questions for practice, not a compulsion for anyone. You feel you want to retain the chapter nicely, practice it. This will help you out. What was the question number 2 I gave? Yes, I discussed this. What is the meaning? Somebody is asking me, what is the meaning of garbage? Garbage is gold for the Rakvikas of Simapuri. For the elders, it is a means of survival, their daily bread, a roof over their head. And for children like Mukesh Sahib, it is a gift wrapped in wonders. This is the answer. So please practice this. I told please practice this. You said no. तो मत करो ना. अरे समझ गया. टेंशन मत लिया करो यार. Done. Great. So we'll take one more chapter from the prose part of Flamingo, which is there for your term 1. Chapter number 3, that is deep water. Written by William Douglas. Thank you. Deep Water by William Douglas. Very interesting chapter. Motivational chapter. Something to learn from this. It's just about how we face difficulties in life and what we do when we come across difficulties. एक तो वो होता है जो तकलीफ से या मुश्किलों से हार मान लेता है. एक वो होता है कोशिश करने वालों की हार नहीं होती. Yes, this is what this chapter will teach us. Depends upon our attitude. When I write this, some may read that it is impossible. For those who have the positive attitude, they'll never see that anything is impossible for me. They always have the attitude, I am possible. I can make the things possible. We come across such situations. I am nowhere. मैं तो कहीं का भी नहीं रहा. ऐसी सिचुएशन भी आदमी के इंसान के सामने आती है. I am nowhere, मैं तो कहीं का नहीं रहा. But never have this negative attitude in life. Always try to prove I am now here. Don't run away. Show your presence. Face the difficulties. Don't worry about the consequences and so on. And this chapter rightly tells us कोशिश करने वालों की हार नहीं होती है. This chapter will give you a taste of Mountain Dew. डर के आगे जीत है. This is what you learn from this very interesting chapter written by William Douglas. William Douglas has written a book. The name of his book is Of Men and Mountains. And this chapter is an excerpt or a part taken from that particular book. The theme of this chapter is that if the human beings have willpower, confidence, dedication, sincerity, hard work, optimism, patience, dhairya, a person can overcome any failures or obstacles in life. If you have all these positive qualities, mehnat, hard work, confidence, I don't say overconfidence, confidence, dedication, sincerity, patience always counts, then you can overcome any obstacles in life. William Douglas, I summarize this chapter. William Douglas, right from his early childhood, he was a victim of hydrophobia. What is hydrophobia? Yes, book के अंदर ये word नहीं दिया, but maybe you can use this term, or maybe you can get such type of question. William Douglas was a victim of what? Aerophobia, hydrophobia, ocelophobia, and so on. Hydrophobia is hydro, water. Phobia is a root for fear, fear of water. He was a victim of hydrophobia. This is about this particular chapter. William Douglas stayed in a place called as, he stayed in a place called as Yakima. He stayed in a place called as Yakima in USA. Over there, there was a Yakima river, which was treacherous, dangerous, Khatanak Nadi thi. And the mother would always warn William Douglas, who was a child that time, that how dangerous this river is and how many people have died because of drowning. This is the place where he used to. William Douglas, right from his early childhood, was scared of water. And how his fear started. When he was 3 or 4 years old, he went to a sea beach, Samudra ke kinare, along with his father. They were just standing at the edge of the shore, from where the waves were going back, retreating. At the same time, a wave came and knocked William Douglas. Samudra ke ekdam kunne pe khade the. A wave came and knocked. William Douglas fell down, and that little wave swept over him. William Douglas got scared. He was hardly 3 or 4 years old. He got scared. He thought, I am buried inside the water. उसको लगा मेरी तो लाश बिछ गई पानी के अंदर. And his father started laughing. कि देखो मेरा शेर छोटी सी लहर से कैसे डर गया. But this wave, this fear had now captured the mind of Douglas, who was only 3 or 4 years old. The years rolled on, and William Douglas lived with this fear. William Douglas, in spite of being scared of water, he was tempted by water. बचपन से ही पानी का डर था, but पानी उसको attract करता था. He was fond of fishing. He was fond of boating. He was fond of enjoying in the cascades. Cascades are waterfall, झरने. But ये जो डर था पानी का, उसको would stop him from enjoying the water pleasure trips. When he was 10 or 11 years old, he decided to learn to swim. The Yakima River was dangerous. He could not go and try to swim in the river, but he got an opportunity because there was a YMCA pool at Yakima. Remember this term YMCA pool. The YMCA pool was safe. It was 2 or 3 feet deep only on the shallow side, and it was 9 feet at the deepest end. And the drop was gradual. So William Douglas, with the help of his water wings are floaters. Just you take those tubes, inflated tubes. So water wings, बच्चों को यहाँ पे लगा के, that is water wings, floaters. With the help of water wings, he went to the YMCA pool. Does anybody know the full form of YMCA? It's not in the book. Great. Now, why is nothing with to Yakima? Yes, it's Young Men's Christian Association. It's a worldwide organization. They have hostels, they have clubs, they have pools, libraries, and so on. In India also, you will find, Bombay mein to hai, mujhe pata hai. Yes. There are the clubs and so on. And this is for the males. Females के लिए भी है. It is YWCA, Young Women's Christian Association. That is the full form of YMCA. So went to the YMCA pool. Douglas was scared of water, but he just saw the children of his age going into the pool. And he also, along with the help of his water wings, he also went to the pool along with the children of his age. उसने भी देखा देखी उस हम उम्र बच्चों के संग पानी में जाना शुरू किया. In 2 or 3 days, he was feeling comfortable. He had come into his comfort zone when a misadventure happened at the YMCA pool when William Douglas was 10 or 11 years old. The misadventure took place when he was 10 or 11 years. Remember this. You might be asked a question. What was the age of Douglas when the misadventure took place? 3 or 4 years, 8 or 9 years, 10 or 11 years, or 20 or 21 years. Just remember such type of questions also. Okay, Hyderabad में भी है YMCA. Okay, I told you it's there in India. He went to the pool. Now, what was the misadventure? Durghatna ghati hai. William Douglas, right from his early childhood, was very skinny. Skinny, patla dubla, heart pinjar jaisa. One day he reached the pool the earliest. सबसे पहले वो pool पे पहुंच गया. Nobody had come. The water was still. ठहरा हुआ था. Nobody had come over there. William Douglas was scared of going alone in the pool. So he waited for the other children. He let others come. Then I'll jump into the pool along with them. So he just sat down at the edge of the pool. At the same time, an 18-year-old bruiser of a boy. Bruiser is a naughty boy. 18-year bruiser of a boy. Bruise actually is चोट. जब चोट लग जाती है, not wound. Wound तो घाव हो गया बड़ा. हल्की सी चोट लग जाती है, जब हाथ घिस जाता है. Don't say I wounded my hand. You just say I bruised my hand. And bruiser becomes चोट पहुंचाने वाला. Naughty, notorious, शैतान. An 18-year-old bruiser of a boy came over there. This 18-year-old boy was a good specimen and he was well built, hatta katta, and he has rippling muscles, nice muscles. Maybe gym में जाता होगा, ये ऐसे ऐसे करता होगा. So he came over there and he just saw this 10-11 साल का पतला दुबला केकड़िया सा बच्चा वहां पे बैठा हुआ. This 18-year-old boy came. He lifted William Douglas and told him, "Hi, skinny, how if I throw you inside the water?" Before William Douglas could understand anything, this 18-year-old boy, उसने उसको उठाया and he tossed him. वैसा भी नहीं कि push किया. He tossed him at the deeper end of the pool, which was 9 feet deep. तो वो आया 18 साल का बच्चा, उसको उठाया, ले उसका विसर्जन कर दिया, ले गणपति बापा मोरिया, उसका विसर्जन कर दिया in the 9 feet deep pool. William Douglas knew nothing how to swim as much. अभी अभी तो नया सीख रहा था. And he started going down in a sitting position. He got very scared. He tried to throw his hands and legs up, but he was going down at the deeper end of the pool slowly. He tried to shout for help. कोई सुनने बचाने वाला उसको नहीं. He was scared. He was trembling. कांप रहा था. But still his wits, his sense of thinking was in his control. And when he was going down at the bottom, he made a strategy. उसने एक plan बनाया that when I reach the bottom, I'll give a big upward jump, what you call as up thrust. मैं जोर से धक्का मारूंगा ऊपर, हल्का फुल्का हूं. I'll come out like a cork. I'll come to the edge, a surface. I will lie down, kick the water with my hands and legs, and come to the out of the pool. This is the strategy which he made. And when he was going down, he had emotions of fear. पूरी तरह से वो डरा हुआ था. But सोचने समझने की शक्ति was in his control. And when he was going down for the first time, that 9 feet depth looked as 90 feet to William Douglas. The depth of 9 feet looked as 90 feet. So you can analyze how much scared he was. You can analyze the intensity of fear. कि वो 9 फीट की गहराई नहीं है, इतना गहरा है कि वो 90 फीट की गहराई पे वो जा रहा. Scared, trembling, he reached the bottom, and as per him, he gave a big upward jump. But when he opened his eyes, he was just surrounded by water everywhere, and he was coming up very, very slowly. Douglas was trying to find for things of help, for things of safety, some ladder, some rope, any water wings. डूबते को तिनका का सहारा भी चलता है. He was searching for things of help, but wherever his hands went, it clutched only water. सिर्फ पानी ही उसके हाथ में आ रहा था. Slowly and gradually he came to the surface. His eyes came out. He tried to breathe, but water went inside his body. He tried to bring his legs up. He flailed. This word has been used. Flail is chatpatana, moving in an uncontrolled way. He tried to bring his legs up, but the legs had become rigid, paralyzed. And he started going down in the pool for the second time. दोबारा बेचारा पूल के नीचे वो जाने लगा. रिटर्न टिकट लाया था, फ्री जर्नी उसकी रिटर्न जर्नी वापस पूल के अंदर शुरू. Second time when he went, he was extremely scared. And he was so scared that he thought, first time it looked as 90 feet deep, and second time he just thought that it is a bottomless pool. उसको तो ये लगा कि पूल का कोई बॉटम ही नहीं है. He is going in the bottomless pool. He was very, very scared. Yes, the water was suffocating him. सिर उसका चकराना धीरे धीरे शुरू हो गया. He was scared and he was shouting for help. He was crying to help. He was calling out his mother for help. Mothers always there to help the children, but उसकी चीख पुकार सुनने वाला, there was nobody in the deeper end of the pool. He was trembling. Yes. And he was extremely scared. But still his wits were in his control. And he knew the strategy that what I have to do to save myself. क्या करना था उसको? क्या करना था? छपाछप. Reach the bottom, give a big upward jump with full force, come to the surface, lie down, kick the water with the hands and legs, and swim to the edge of the pool. This is what the strategy was. He knew this thing. Trembling, slowly, he reached the bottom. And as per him, when his feet touched the tiles of the bottom, he exerted, he gathered all the courage and gave a big upward jump. But again, he realized that he was only surrounded by water. Now, he started disliking water. And he was coming up very, very slowly. Yes, he was just surrounded by dark, dirty water. And wherever he saw, wherever his hands went, only water, water was there. पानी से उसको खौफ आ गया था, पानी उसको बुरा लग रहा था because it had become life-taking for him. It had become difficult for him to breathe also. And what was the age of this boy at this time? He was only 10 or 11 years old. सिर्फ 10 और 11 साल का ये बच्चा था. And maybe when he was in the pool for the second time, maybe he must have remembered a song of Honey Singh. Honey Singh ने गाना गाया था, पानी 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 पानी. But इसका टोन अलग था, ये डर रहा होगा, पानी 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 पानी. Maybe his emotions had changed, but गाना शायद वो ही होगा. Slowly and gradually, he reached the surface. His head came out, his nose came out. Tried to bring his legs up, but the legs had become rigid, paralyzed. Some force was pulling him under. कौन सा force होगा? कौन सा force होगा? Physics वाले आप जानो, मुझे नहीं पता. Gravitation force. हाँ? Buoyancy. Archimedes वाला. यूरेका यूरेका. वही force होता है. Okay, चलो. ठीक है. Some force was pulling him under, and he started his journey back in the pool for the third time. Now, when the third time he started going down, he was extremely scared. Till now, his mind was in his control, but slowly and gradually, he started becoming unconscious. He became dizzy. Chakkar aane shuru ho gaye usko. And a time came when a blackness swept over his brain. दिमाग पूरी तरह से सुन पड़ गया. सोचने समझने की शक्ति खत्म. And he reached oblivion. Oblivion is the state of forgetfulness. And he thought that the curtain of life has fallen. उसको लगा कि उसकी जिंदगी का जो पर्दा है, जिंदगी का जो नाटक है, नाटक खत्म हो गया. मेरी जिंदगी की रामलीला खत्म हो गई. So this young small boy who was only 10 or 11 years old saw death or experienced death in front of his eyes. उसने मौत के साक्षात दर्शन कर लिए थे अपनी आंखों के सामने. And then he does not know what happened to you. He became unconscious. But God is great. He regained consciousness and he found himself outside the pool, vomiting. People were trying to remove the excess water from his body. Gravity लिखा है किसी ने, चलो. People were trying to remove the excess water from his body. Somebody was scolding that 18-year-old boy जिसने उसको पानी में डाला था. That boy told, I was just fooling. मैं तो मजाक कर रहा था. Somebody scolded him. This boy would have died. बेचारा मर जाता तेरे मजाक के चक्कर में. मजाक मजाक में ये रजाक की बेचारे की जान चली जाती. And the author was taken to the locker room. And when he was a bit relaxed, the author, William Douglas, went home. That he was trembling. His friend's legs were shaking, as good as paralyzed. He could not eat anything that day. And he could not sleep properly. And this haunting fear stayed with him for a long, long time. ये जो दहशत था पानी के अंदर जो मौत के साक्षात दर्शन किए थे, this haunting fear stayed along with him for years. The time rolled by, and William Douglas lived with this fear. Or in other words, the fear was directly proportional to time. समय के संग संग उसका डर भी बढ़ता चला गया. William Douglas, right from his childhood, he was fond of water sports. The water tempted him. He was fond of boating. He was fond of fishing. He was fond of enjoying the cascades. He tried to go to various places. Well, पानी का डर था, but he tried to go to various places. He went to the different lakes, different seas to enjoy the cascades. He went to different lakes and ponds for fishing and boating. But wherever he went, that fear of water would take possession on him completely. Because when he was in the pool, he was surrounded completely by terror. डर ने पूरी तरह से उसको अपने आगोश में ले लिया था in the pool. So he was totally scared of fear. So whenever he tried to put his legs in the water, the legs would become paralyzed, rigid, and he could not enjoy the life which he wanted. बेचारा घुट घुट के जिंदगी जी रहा था and so on. He could not live the life with pleasure. Years rolled by, and one day he decided, enough. I will overcome my fear of water. मैं भी जिंदगी जीना चाहता हूँ मेरी मर्जी से. And he decided to overcome the fear of water. So in the month of October, he took the help of an instructor, and the instructor made Douglas into a swimmer piece by piece, step by step usko sikhaya, and he made Douglas into a swimmer. How the training started? It started in the month of October. William Douglas was taken to a pool. A belt was tied to William Douglas. A rope was attached to the belt. एक रस्सा बांधा बेल्ट से, and the upper end of the rope was thrown from an overhead pulley, and the open end of the rope was held by the instructor. So एक रस्सा यहाँ पे बांधा पीछे ऑथर के, और the instructor ने रस्से को पुली के सहारे पकड़ के रखा. The instructor put Douglas into the pool. He released the rope. Douglas went inside the pool, went forward. He pulled the rope. पीछे आता और बाहर आता. So this back and forth continued for months. When Douglas was in the pool initially, he would get totally scared, totally terrorized. But slowly and gradually, he was gaining control. William Douglas was dedicated, a good learner, and he practiced 5 days in a week, 1 hour each day. So those who swim, they can realize or analyze that swimming 1 hour or being in the pool for 1 hour needs energy, stamina चाहिए. जो swim करते हैं उनको ये अंदाज हो. But William Douglas had decided, and he swam in the pool 5 days in a week, 1 hour every day. And this going inside the water, coming out the water, this step continued for nearly 3 months. And after 3 months of regular practice, the tension began to slack or slacken. Slacken is not finished. Slacken is calm hona, control hona. The fear of water was a bit in his control. Then the author was taught the breathing exercise. He was taught how to breathe or how to inhale outside the water and how to exhale inside the water. पानी के बाहर कैसे सांस लेते हैं या पानी के बाहर कैसे सांस छोड़ते हैं और पानी के अंदर कैसे सांस लेते हैं. क्या पानी के अंदर सांस लेते हैं कि बाहर लेते हैं? हाँ, तो हाँ क्यों बोल रहे हो? सुनो तो ध्यान से. So he was taught how to inhale outside the water and how to exhale inside the water. This also lasted for days, and would practice this many a times. Whenever the author, Douglas, was in the pool, in the water, his legs would become rigid, paralyzed. So the author was taught the leg exercise. The instructor took him to the edge of the pool and told him to kick the water with his legs. Whenever you to put the legs in the water, initially the legs would refuse to work. But now, after regular practice, Douglas was able to command his legs. वो जहां जाना चाहता अपने पैर को आदेश बोलता चल धन्नो ले चल उधर. The legs would take him to the end of the pool, edge of the pool, and return back. Slowly and gradually, he practiced every month. In the month of April, the instructor told Douglas to integrate the steps into one and swim the length of the pool. Douglas did it. He combined all the steps and swam from one edge to the other. The instructor thought or realized my work is finished. So for how long or how many months he had taken the training from the instructor? For how many months did he take the training? 3 months क्यों? October से April. The training started in October, remember this. And nearly 7 months. In the month of April, the instructor thought that my work is finished. William Douglas thought, but I am not finished. मेरा काम अभी पूरा नहीं हुआ है. But he was still not totally confident on himself. Maybe he must have thought that today I am swimming with the help of the instructor. Will I be able to swim alone? So from April to July, he swam all alone in the pool. It was not that when he was alone in the pool, he would not get terrorized. ऐसा नहीं कि वो पानी का डर पूरी तरह से हट गया था. But whenever he would see terror in front of him, जब वो पानी अपना डर को सामने देखता, he would just look at the water angrily. He would frown and tell the water, "Wah, trying to scare me? अबे मुझको डराता है? ले, ये तेरे लिए." He would jump into the pool and now he'd swim the length of that pool. So this is the way he was gaining control onto his fear of water. Till July, he practiced in the pool. Now he came out and he realized that what about the other open water bodies? I am now swimming only in the pool. But what about the different ponds? What about the different lakes? What about the seas? Will I be able to swim? So he came out from it. And he went to different lakes, different ponds, different seas. And he swam all alone. And he even traveled the distance of few miles. Still, he was not totally confident at his performance. Once he got an opportunity, he went to Maid Glacier, Titan. ये नाम आएगा लास्ट में बुक के अंदर. He went to Titan, Maid Glacier. He stayed over there. And just below it, there was a warm lake. The name of the lake is Warm Lake. A warm lake was flowing over there. He went to that great height. Till now, he was just swimming maybe from the ground level. Lake ponds में ground level से jump मारता होगा. Now he got an opportunity. He went to a great height, like Doug Corcoran used to do. One name of an American swimming champion has been mentioned. Yes. And he got an opportunity, and next morning he changed and he jumped from a great height into that lake. And he swam from one end to another, a distance of a few miles. And when he swam successfully, when he came out, this was the time when he shouted with joy, "Yes, I have overcome my fear of water." And his victorious sound was echoing in the Gilbert Peaks. उसकी जो जीत की खुशी थी, वो गूंज रही थी उन पहाड़ों में, and so on. And Douglas, in the end, he just remembers the words of President Roosevelt. Roosevelt is the name of former American president. And Douglas, William Douglas, by profession, he was a lawyer. And he was the legal advisor to President Roosevelt. So he remembered the words of President Roosevelt. All we have to fear is fear itself. हमको एक ही चीज से डरना चाहिए. किससे? डर से डर से डरो, डर के करीब मत जाओ या डर को अपने करीब मत आने दो। तुम जिंदगी जिंदा दिली से जियोगे। एंड नाउ ही वाज टोटली फ्री। Now he could go to great heights. Douglas could jump from great heights and he could jump and he could brush aside all the fear. कोई भी डर आता वो डर को बोल सकता था, चल हटा सावन की घटा, किसी भी प्रकार के डर को वो डरा सकता। So this is all about this chapter, deep water, which teaches us all the positive attributes of life. But if you have determination, willpower, confidence, dedication, sincerity, hard work, optimism, and perseverance also. What is perseverance? Nice word आया दिमाग में. Perseverance is
आप करना ही नहीं चाहते करा क्या?
attempting in spite of failures. Continuous effort is perseverance. And finally, patience. If you have all these attributes, you can overcome any difficulties in life. So this is all about this very, very interesting plus important chapter, Deep Water by William Douglas. So still have time, so let's continue from the text. So let's start. Deep Water by क्या हो गया? Was feeling cold? सबको ठंडी लग रही है, सबको पसीना आ रहा है. Deep Water by William Douglas. So we'll take a few lines from about the author. Last but sixth line, I start from there. The following excerpt is taken from on this line, in between last 6 or 7 line about the author. The following excerpt is taken from Of Men and Mountains by William O. Douglas. It reveals how, as a young boy, Douglas nearly drowned in a swimming pool. In his essay, he talks about his fear of water and thereafter how he finally overcame it. Come on to the text. It had happened when I was 10 or 11 years old. I decided to learn to swim. I is, or the narrator is, the author himself. There was a pool at the YMCA in Yakima that offered exactly the opportunity. So at the age of 10 or 11, he decided to learn, and he got a chance because there was a YMCA pool. The Yakima River was treacherous, deceptive, cruel, dangerous, khatarnak. Mother continually warned against it and kept fresh in my mind the details of each drowning in the river. The mother always updated the status of William Douglas by telling him that how many deaths had taken because of drowning. हमेशा उसको अपडेट करती थी कि कितनी मौतें हो चुकी है because of drowning in this dangerous river. But the YMCA pool was safe. It was only 2 or 3 feet deep at the shallow end. Shallow is the opposite of deep. जो कम गहरा था, that was 2 or 3 feet. And while it was 9 feet deep at the other, the drop was gradual. So 2 feet, 3 feet, 4 feet, and it was a gradual drop. And the deepest part was 9 feet. I got a pair of water wings and went to the pool. I hated to walk naked into it and show my skinny legs. He was very, very thin and he was embarrassed. Usko sharam aa rahi thi, jhijak aa rahi thi to show his nice physique, to show his nice figure in the pool. But I subdued my pride and did it. Bhale thodi sharam thi, he was embarrassed, feeling ashamed, but he kept that shame aside and he went to the pool. Now, the incident before that usko pani ka dar kab se tha. From the beginning, however, I had an aversion to the water when I was in it. Aversion is dislike, hatred, nafrat, reluctance. उसको शुरू से ही पानी से नफरत थी. This started when I was 3 or 4 years old and father took me to the beach in California. He and I stood together in the surf. Surf is not that surf ka pani. Surf is that foamy water, jhaag wala pani. That is, they were just standing from where the waves were going back. So jhaag ban jata at the edge of the shore. I hung onto him. Yet the waves knocked me down and swept over me. पापा के संग खड़ा था, फिर भी एक लहर आई, टकरा गया, वो गिर गया. I was buried in water. My breath was gone. I was frightened. डर गया वो. Father laughed. Why must have the father laugh? कि बिना वजह के इतनी छोटी सी लहर से मेरा बेटा डर रहा है. Father laughed, but there was terror in my heart at the overpowering force of the waves. The father laughed, but William Douglas was scared. And this experience was when he was only 3 or 4 years old. My introduction to the YMCA swimming pool revived unpleasant memories. Revived is brought back, remembered, and stirred childish fears. What is stirred? Mixed, and his heart and mind was surrounded by that childish fear when he went to the YMCA pool. जो बचपन का जो डर था, वो यादें ताजा हो गए उसके दिलो दिमाग में. But in a little while, I gathered confidence. I paddled with my new water wings, watching the other boys and trying to learn by aping them. Aping is copying. He went to the pool, chapa chap, along with the water wings. I did this 2 or 3 times on different days and was just beginning to feel at ease in the water when the misadventure happened. After 2 or 3 days, he was in the comfort zone when this misadventure took place. I went to the pool when no one else was there. The place was quiet. The water was still, and the tile bottom was as clean and white as a bathtub. So undisturbed water, crystal clear water, you could even see the bottom of the pool. I was timid about going in alone. So I sat on the side of the pool to wait for others. Over here, timid means scared. He was scared of going into water. उसको झिझक थी. So he just thought, let the other children come. देखा देखी मैं पानी में उनके संग चला जाऊं. So I sat on the side of the pool to wait for others. I had not been there long when in came a big bruiser of a boy. Bruiser, I told you, a tough boy, a aggressive boy, yes, strong boy, probably 18 years old. He had thick hair on his chest. He was a beautiful physical specimen with legs and arms that showed rippling muscles. Rippling muscles? Nice wavy muscles, nice cuts, nice biceps, gym jaane wala, hatta katta. He yelled, "Hi, skinny, how do you like to be ducked?" Ducked is thrown in the water. कैसा लगा अगर मैं तुमको पानी में तेरी छलांग लगवा दूं? With that, he picked me up and tossed me into the deep end. So it did not push him. He just threw him or tossed him. उछाल दिया उसने. I landed in a sitting position, swallowed water, and went at once to the bottom. I was frightened, but not that frightened out of my wits. Wits is the sense of thinking. जब आदमी डरता है तो दिमाग काम करना बंद कर देता है. But over here, he was scared. But his sense of thinking was in his control. On the way down, I planned. When my feet hit the bottom, I would make a big jump, come to the surface, lie flat on it, and pedal to the edge of the pool. So this was the plan. This was the strategy. नीचे जाके ऊपर jump मारूंगा, come up to the top, lie down, kick the water, and come out to the edge of the pool. But it seemed a long way down. Those 9 feet were more like 90, showing the intensity of fear. And before I touched bottom, my legs were ready to burst. But when my feet hit bottom, I summoned all my strength. Summoned is gathered. Sab takat ikatha kari. And made what I thought was a great spring upwards. Spring is jump. As per him, he made a great jump. I imagined I would bob to the surface like a cork. Bob is come up. Cork is something very, very light, dhakkan jaisa, very, very light in weight. It's just I am such a lightweight, patla dubla, तैरता हुआ ऊपर आ जाऊंगा. Instead, I came up slowly. I opened my eyes and saw nothing but water. Water that had a yellow tinge to it. Maybe why yellow tinge? Some sunlight पहुंच रही थी पानी के अंदर. I grew panicky. Panic, scared, terrified, दहशत, डर जाना, भयभीत हो जाना. I grew panicky. I reached up as if to grab a rope, and my hands clutched only at water. उसको लगा कहीं रस्सा वस्सा होगा पकड़ लूं, but clutch is caught. But उसके हाथ में सिर्फ पानी आया. Then my eyes and nose came out of the water, but not my mouth. I flailed at the surface of the water, swallowed and choked. Flail is move energetically in an uncontrolled way. Moving energetically in an uncontrolled way. Hindi meaning छटपटाना. उसने पूरी ताकत के संग छटपटाया, अपने पैर वैर ऊपर लाने की कोशिश की. I tried to bring my legs up, but they hung as dead weights, paralyzed and rigid. The legs had refused to work. A great force was pulling me under. I screamed, but only the water heard me. चीख पुकार से पानी के अंदर ही जा रही थी. I had started on the long journey back to the bottom of the pool. So he started his return journey into the pool. I struck at the water as I went down, expending my strength as one in a nightmare fights an irresistible force. Irresistible, that cannot be resisted or that cannot be faced, जिसका हम सामना नहीं कर सकते. What is nightmare? Nightmare, सुहाना सपना या डरावना सपना? डरावना सपना. अपने टीचरों के नहीं ना? Thank you. So whenever you have nightmares, analyze करो जब कोई डरावना सपना देखते हो, there is no control on the body and the person डर के जग जाता है. Same way he was totally terrorized as if he has seen a nightmare. I had lost all my breath. उसकी सांस रुक गई थी. My lungs ached. उसके सीने में दर्द शुरू हो गया. My head throbbed. I was getting dizzy. Yes, the meaning of throb. Throb is palpitate. The meaning of throb is palpitate. And the meaning of palpitate is throb. If A is equal to B, then B is equal to A. समझ में आ गया ना मीनिंग सबको? Throb and palpitate. समझ गए? क्या खाक समझे? What is throbbing? Throbbing is throbbing is palpitate. चलो आगे. If you know, it's so good. I was getting dizzy. One is heartbeats. What is palpitate? वो बता देता हूँ. Yes, whenever you are scared, कभी भी देखना, feel your nerves or touch your brain part. You'll just analyze that यहाँ पे फड़कना शुरू हो जाता है. So one is दिल का धड़कना. कभी कभी डर के हमारे दिल का धड़कना और दिमाग का फड़कना. So this फड़कना is palpitate. है ना? This is throbbing. अब ठीक है? समझ आया अब? My lungs ached, my head throbbed. I was getting dizzy. What is dizzy? Dizzy is not faint. Dizzy. Dizzy is giddy. Dizzy means giddy. And giddy means so smart. Dizzy. समझ गए मतलब? क्या समझे? Try to understand the meaning. Dizzy is giddy. Dizzy is chakkar aana. A stage before being unconscious. So सिर चकराने लगा, है ना? जलेबी बाई याद आ गई. सिर घूमने लगा. But I remembered the strategy. What is the strategy? I would spring from the bottom of the pool and come like a cork to the surface. I would lie flat on the water, strike out with my arms and thrash with my legs. So this is the strategy. So in spite of being totally scared, in spite of being dizzy, but his wits were in his control. His sense of thinking was in his control. And he knew कि मुझे अपने आप को बचाने के लिए क्या करना है. Then I would get to the edge of the pool and be safe. I went down, down, endlessly. One literary device I'd like to discuss over here, जैसा भी हम कर रहे थे, simile, metaphor, poetic device. The word down is repeated. So it is a poetic device and we call that poetic device. One is repetition, what you know. The other term, we term it as refrain. So refrain is whenever a word or words are repeated to emphasize something. It is called as repetition or refrain. तो वो बोल सकता था मैं और नीचे गया. I went down. But now he's just repeating the word. I went down, down. So how the intensity changes? मैं नीचे और नीचे गया. It looked as endless bottom. I opened my eyes. Nothing but water with a yellow glow. Dark water that one could not see through. So now, पूरी तरह से he was nearly at the bottom. He could not see anything. Maybe last paragraph we can take for today. Yes. And then sheer stark terror seized me. Note down the meanings. Sheer is only, sirf. Stark is completely. Terror, डर. Seized, captured. So अब उसकी हालत कैसी थी? अब पूरी तरह से डर ने इसको अपने कंट्रोल में कर लिया था. कौन से डर ने? Terror that knows no understanding. Terror that knows no control. उस डर ने उसको कंट्रोल में किया था. जो डर सामने कौन है? वो देखता नहीं है, डर को कुछ समझ नहीं होती है, it only terrorizes. Terror that knows no understanding, terror that knows no control, terror that no one can understand who has not experienced it. Yes, it's true. Nobody can define terror. कोई पूछे डर या दहशत क्या होती है, you won't be able to define. But if you experience terror, तभी आप डिस्कस कर पाओगे डर ऐसा होता है. I was shrieking underwater. Shrieking is shouting, चीखना, screaming. I was paralyzed underwater, stiff, rigid, and fear. Even the screams in my throat were frozen. अब तो उसकी घुटना शुरू हो गया था, and his scream also would not come out. Only my heart and the pounding in my head said that I was alive. Could not understand anything, but only my heart and the pounding in my head. Pounding. So सिर्फ दिल का धड़कना, pounding in the head, दिमाग में फड़कना, सिर्फ उसी से उसको पता चला था भैया तू अभी तक जिंदा है. Yes. And the pounding in my head said I was alive. And in the midst of terror came a touch of reason. When he was totally scared, in between, the thought came into his mind. What? I must remember to jump when I hit the bottom. So even though he was terrified, in between उसको याद, अरे मेरे को तो अपने आप को बचाना भी है. And what I have to do, I have to apply that strategy. At last, I felt the tiles under me. My toes reached out as if to grab them. I jumped with everything I had. When he reached the bottom of the pool for the second time, he gathered all his strength, and whatever strength he had, he gave a big upward jump. क्या jump मारने के बाद was he able to save himself? Was he relieved from this fear or not? This will continue in the next episode, in the next class, in the next week. Till then, have a nice time, enjoy other classes, and see you again in the next week. Thank you all.